I'm making sure. Hey, Crazy Beardo. I do work as a MMA official, yeah. So I do work some stuff with UFC, international work. Why is that? Hey, I'm waving back at you guys. But obviously I don't work directly for UFC. It's we have to remain impartial. So I do some work for UFC, but as officials we have to kind of remain impartial. Hey Amber, how's it going? Good. So let me know on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch if you guys can hear me. I'm just getting the chat open for them as well. It looks like we've got some guys watching on Facebook. Give me a shout if you are. And let me know if you've got any questions. I'm trying to keep an eye on all pages just to answer any questions. And I'm waving back at everyone. Luciano, Tyler Bear, Strictly for Wellness. Cool. Good. Okay, so what's going on Facebook? Give me some love on Facebook. Give me some likes. I like those likes. Pushes us to the top of the algorithm. It's all good. And I want to know that you can hear me as well, because sometimes the sound settings aren't right on my laptop, which is my fault. But I want to know you guys can hear me. Cool. YouTube's looking good. Give me a shout if you're there. And Twitch. I'm not really used to Twitch, but give me some love on Twitch as well, and I'll see it. But yeah, so how is your yoga for BJJ practice going? Yeah, what's going on? What are you guys working on? What do you want to work on? Where's your jiu-jitsu struggling? Maybe because of mobility, things like that. That's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, let me know. Cool. Everyone's looking good. So yeah, we've just finished one of the Yoga for BJJ instructors courses. Amber's on, or was just on. She's one of our newly qualified instructors. We've got a few. There's a few people qualifying with that batch as well. So we've got over 200 Yoga for BJJ instructors now, which is amazing. So congrats to all the guys that have just qualified. And so Sazzles chimed in. Thank you, Sazzle891. Can hear you. Awesome. Shoulders feel right after sessions. Just a few weeks. Loving it. That's awesome. Good. Yeah. Keep those shoulder mobility drills and stretches going as well. Like even I've got my belt here just in case someone asks me. But even things that just waking up and just doing a few movements to begin with to start your day, or if you've got like a broom or something, just slowly opening out and things like that. That's really going to help your shoulders. Help your shoulder mobility. Like we spend so much time at jiu-jitsu kind of forwards, pulling people in, like our shoulders get super tight. If you think at work as well on a keyboard, everything gets tight and pulled forwards, so it's nice to really open out. I'm trying to, at the moment, I'm working on my handstands and I'm trying to open out my shoulders so that I can get nice and straight, because in my handstands I'm not like straight up, and that really helps that kind of balance point and keeping straight. And also the added mobility helps your jiu-jitsu too. So I'm working on that so I can get a nice and straight handstand, nice and pretty looking handstand. Cool. So I'll look at the other socials as well. Give me some questions. Let me know what's going on. YouTube. Hey YouTube. Cool. Everyone's watching. So we've got a few watching on YouTube. Good. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up. I can see some thumbs up on YouTube, which is awesome. Okay. SI joint instability. I'd recommend having a look. That's from Beck's Pitch Yoga. I'd recommend having a look at our rehab stuff. Maybe is that an injury, or do you just feel a bit loose there? What sort of poses, or do you, like where in jiu-jitsu are you struggling with that, or is it an injury? Yeah, give me a bit more on that. That'd be cool. Who else have we got? Yoga and Rock. Thank you. Thanks for the love. Awesome. We've got Brian Flantana just joined too. But yeah, where was I? I was talking about the instructors course. So yeah, So that's just happened. So we're kind of finalising dates on the next one. I think it's possibly going to be, there will be one this year, it'll probably be a bit later on in the year. So if you guys are getting interested in getting involved, becoming Yoga for BJJ instructor, I definitely recommend checking out our course. If you go to the main website, so yogaforbjj.net, at the top you can see a link to the instructor curriculum page, and we've got a level 1 course. If you're already a level 1 qualified, there's the level 2 course that you guys already know about. We've also got a 200-hour registered yoga teacher training coming up too. And what that 200-hour course does, that qualifies you to teach anywhere. So not just yoga for BJJ or jiu-jitsu gyms. That qualifies you to teach in yoga studios and things like that. And because Sebastian is qualified, all our courses can go towards your continuing education if you are a yoga teacher already. So definitely get involved in that if you want. It's awesome. So I recommend that. And let's have a look on the other socials. YouTube, you're quiet today. Someone break the seal on YouTube and chat to me. I want to know. I want to hear from you guys. Cool. And then Twitch is quiet forever. But yes, we've got a few watching on Facebook too. I'll go back to that and see what's going on. Hey, back at you in Serbia. Thank you. And hey, Chris. Kat, any tips on releasing ITB? So give me a bit more on that. Are you ITB? Are you talking IT band, or are you talking something else? Let's break that down a bit more. And I'm happy to answer. Do you ever do podcast with Academies? We don't yet, actually. We haven't done a podcast for a little while. Sarah's got a couple in the works, so yeah, potentially. It's all kind of, we're slowly trying to get our podcast built up. Hey, back at you in Canada, David. Thank you. I'm a bit sketchy with the flags, if I'm honest. Some of the flags I'm like a bit unsure of. So hey, Stockholm, nice. So if I get your flag wrong, feel free to shout me out. It's always pretty funny. It's happened before. Cool. So yeah, thank you for the love on YouTube there. That's really cool. I've been riding my bike recently. I've got into mountain biking as well during lockdowns and stuff, and it's just carried on as a bit of an obsession. And my quads at the moment are absolutely killing. They're so stiff. So I'm working on some like quad stretches and things, trying to loosen them up. And also my hips at the front are getting tight just from kind of the amount of cycling. So yeah, I've always had quite tight quads. And kind of psoas, but everything's tightening up again, which is just frustrating because I have to stretch them more. Luckily, I've been stretching already today, but just little stretches. So like, I'll show some. So I've just been sitting back on my heel, trying to get nice and punching the wall there. Get nice and stretched out here, without pinching my back. Just trying to get that good stretch, and then sitting down on the floor when it's a bit more open out and kind of tensing my bum. Just to really open out my quads and hips at the front because everything's so sore. But I'm struggling with that crow pose. Any tips? Yes, David, let's talk. What are you struggling with? What about it specifically? Is it staying in the pose? Is it getting up in the pose? Or what? And we can go over some stuff. If you're in a position where you can try the stuff we're talking about, feel free. Sorry, I'm just moving my mic for the other socials. Yeah, give me some more on that and we'll definitely go over that. I love crow. Okay, I'm just going to talk about getting into the pose. Okay, that's fine. We'll get into it. So to begin with, just kind of squat down. You can have your heels up. I have tight calves, so I struggle getting my heels down to the mat unless I've got wide feet. And then what you want to do from there is get your hands as if you're in plank, so just under where your shoulders would be in plank, and then you want your index fingers parallel on the mat. And then something that really helps is keeping your hands active. So my hands aren't just flat on the mat. It's almost like I'm gripping the mat, if someone rolled a basketball over to you and said put your hand on it and pick it up. That's what you want to do. So grip the mat, and that's really going to help. And I'm not sure if you've seen my crow videos on the website. If you haven't, definitely check them out because they'll help. But what you want to think is, if your weight goes too far forwards, you're pushing back with your index fingers, and you'll almost see the kind of white, your fingers go like white on the ends from you pushing down on the mat, and that's going to stop you completely face planting, and you'll feel your forearms and everything activate. So it's not just a case of put your hands on the mat and forget about them. You really need to keep them active. And then as you lean into the pose, sorry, I'm moving my mat, as you come up, you're not just kind of coming up and like relaxing to it. You need to keep everything tight. So pull your stomach in a bit, then hips up, and then rest your knees on your triceps as you bend your arms. And then imagine you're coming forward slightly, but you don't want to like fly forwards because obviously you face plant. But as you come forwards, your weight will just lift up, and you can bring your heels to your bum. Because if you bring your heels down, it's almost like holding your weight back. So the higher your heels are, the more balance you'll feel. Same as if you lean forwards too much and your head's hanging like too low, that'll trail you forwards. So you need to focus on that. So again, set your hands up, grip the mat, lift up, bend your arms a bit, and the knees on your triceps. Some people go shins on triceps, but I prefer knees. And then lean forwards, and then slowly heels up, and just balance. If you do struggle getting up, you could do 1 foot up, then put it down, and just alternate, and see how that goes to begin with. But if you're trying it, get back to me and let me know how you're getting on there. CS, where's Sebastian? Sebastian is in Norway on his farm. They've had him and Stina have had their beautiful twins, and yeah, so they're like enjoying life there. But Sebastian will start live streaming very soon, so stay tuned for that, and he'll be doing more Q&As shortly as well. David, let me know how you're getting on. I imagine you somewhere at work or wherever you're watching, just like, I don't know, you've just got off your desk and you're just like trying to do crow. I hope anyway. If you are, I want to see a story on Instagram of that. Cool. Who else? Got stacked and my neck above my shoulders hurt. Is there anything to be more flexible? And that's from Casey on YouTube. So you've hurt your neck. We do have a neck program that Sebastian did on the website that will kind of help get some mobility and movement in your neck and work kind of strengthening it. We've also got a neck rehab program with Rosie Sexton, and that is amazing. I had to use that a few months ago, and she just goes through a few movements that kind of strengthen the neck and get everything kind of back. Like I had a bit of a creak in my neck when I was moving it, just from landing on my head in wrestling, and that Rosie Sexton rehab stuff has really helped. So get involved. It's on the website. It's same subscription as all the other yoga stuff we've got. So and they're amazing. I know it feels like a chore doing rehab, but I don't know about you. If I go to a physio and get rehab for something, I tend to struggle to do it. Whereas our Rosie programs, like you follow the videos with Rosie, so it just feels better. I stay more accountable doing it and stuff. So I recommend you get involved there. So David? That's a different David. Yep. What's your background? I've done BJJ and realised you need to do yoga to help. My background in jiu-jitsu, so I've been training a little bit over 10 years. I'm black belt in BJJ. Trainer Andy Roberts, BJJ in Farnborough in the UK, and I found yoga for BJJ a few years ago. Started off as a sponsored athlete and just continued practicing with that. Then I got more and more into yoga and stuff, and yeah, just absolutely love it. So I've gone from being yoga for BJJ instructor to being qualified registered yoga teacher, 200 hour, and I'm currently going through my 300 hour, which will eventually get my 500 hour registered yoga teacher training as well. So yeah, basically it just snowballed from yoga for BJJ, and I just got deeper and deeper into yoga. What about you, Sazzle? What belt are you, and what yoga experience have you got? I feel like the two go hand in hand, to be honest. The more I enjoy and improve my yoga practice, the more I notice benefits from that in my jiu-jitsu. Obviously, it's not going to make me better at, it's not going to teach me jiu-jitsu techniques, but I feel like I've got better coordination, and I'm kind of more aware of my body because of doing yoga, whereas before I wasn't as coordinated, and I don't know, I feel like I can adjust things easier because of my yoga practice in my jiu-jitsu. So, oh, awesome. So Casey's going to watch the Rosie stuff. Give me a shout. If you go on the website, there's a chat bubble in the corner. If you give me a shout, I'll get back to you after this, and I can send you the right stuff as well. Who else? I want to know about this crow pose. David, how you getting on, mate? Let me know. Thank you, Manuel. Awesome. So let's have a look. See what's going on Facebook. Hey, Serbia again. So we've got a couple of people from Serbia by the looks of it today. Sore lower back and want to work on my hamstrings, but leaning forward causes discomfort in my lower back. What stretch can help with this? Thanks, buddy. And that's from Chris. So, as providing this isn't an injury, if you've got an injury going on in your lower back, I really recommend these Rosie Sexton videos. I'm just gonna go on about them all day, I reckon, but they are really good. So providing you don't have an injury and it's just soreness when stretching, we can go into that a bit. But maybe try warming your lower back up before you stretch your hamstrings. If you go into like a forward fold, you're immediately stretching your lower back and your hamstrings and everything. You're putting a lot of pressure on an area that you're saying is hurting. So start off warming your lower back up. Even one of my favourite things is cat cows. It's a super simple movement. So I'll just tuck in my t-shirt. So just get to all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and look up and tilt your hips up towards the ceiling so that you get a nice shape in your back, as you can see. And then reverse that, so start looking up and then reverse that and get a bit of movement in your hips here. So I'm not just moving my back, okay, I'm moving my hips. And when you get to this point, you can do a few reps doing some cat cows, and when you get comfortable, you can start tilting back, feeling a nice stretch in your lower back, and you can start making circles and things as well. And just start warming your back out, because if you are really tight, it could just be a lot of pressure. So the more you warm it up, the better you're going to feel in a forward fold. And then also when you get into a forward fold, again, if you're super tight, don't just think you have to have your legs perfectly straight and you have to fold forwards and do this like forward fold with like perfectly straight legs, folding in half immediately. Think about where you start with that. So bend your knees, get your belly and your chest on your kind of quads here, and you can hug around your legs and just slowly send your feet away. And this is still a forward fold. Just because my legs aren't straight and I'm folding doesn't mean it's not a forward fold. Particularly if you're super tight, having straight legs can be a bit unapproachable to begin with. So break the pose down. That's what I suggest. If you go on the website, we've got the Yoga for Rocks inverted guard. So it's Yoga for Rocks because it's like if you're stiff as a rock, basically, and it's for people that have just started getting into jiu-jitsu or yoga for BJJ and they want to improve their flexibility, but it's quite unapproachable. It can be quite unapproachable to begin with when people go to a yoga class, because it could be a beginner class, but everyone could be a little bit more flexible than you. Whereas if you've sat down a lot or you've got a lot of tight areas, you could be tighter than others, and it's not always that inviting. So Sebastian created the Yoga for Rock stuff for that. So you've got the inverted guard, you've got a shoulder program, and you've got a load of different programs basically with adaptations for tight people. So I recommend that if you do feel really tight. Those stretches for back and forward fold are really helpful. Oh, great, good, thank you, Sazzle. Yeah, I'm happy they're helping. And also, if you do go through a bit of an intense lower back and hamstring session, don't feel afraid to like break it down. Like again, if I'm forward folding both my legs, it's tougher than just doing one. So feel free to like just ease off and just stretch one, and then you've got kind of half the tension. You can start stretching that, then you can switch and then do both at once. That's always an option too, because hamstrings are stubborn. Like I'm trying to get mine more flexible so I can sit through, so hands on the floor and then sit my feet through. It's so hard to kind of get that added flexibility you need in that forward fold position. So start breaking it down. Also, a good one for jiu-jitsu is literally getting into inverted guard. So this is basically the same stretch that I was just doing. I'll get on camera. So this is basically the same stretch as I was just doing, but I'm on my back now instead of laying on my sitting on my bum. And you can again bend your knees here, hug your hamstrings, and just feel your lower back and hamstrings open. This could completely change the stretch for you as well, and maybe open things out. And let's be honest, it's a bit more of a lazy boy stretch. You can hold your phone, you can have a chill out, do this after class, and feel a bit of a release in your back. So, and I'm all for that. Yeah, so you do have options, and if your lower back does get tight, you could try doing some sideways stretches. So if your back hurts, usually we get up, we do that, and then we fold forwards, and then we just crack on with our day. You don't think about stretching other ways, so you could do some side stretches and feel the kind of sides of your back stretch out, the QL muscles. And they're what keep us stable, they're what keep us upright and things, but it's so much easier to stretch each side of them by just getting in some nice side stretches. So yeah, there's plenty you can do. Again, a lot of this is in the Yoga for Rocks program, and it's really approachable. There's some stuff against the wall that you can do as well. So just jump on the website and take a look. If you've got any more questions as well, put it in the chat box, and I'll definitely answer them too. Let's see what other people are saying. I will have to shoot off in a second, but just so you guys know, I've got a class. Is there a go-to stretch for hip mobility? That's from Sam Stone on YouTube. In terms of hip mobility, what are you talking like front of the hips, or like just generally like playing guard, or what areas are you most tight when you're doing jiu-jitsu, or you know, everyday life? What areas are the tightest that you found? We can go into a couple of stretches there, definitely. Let's have a look on Facebook. Rosie for the win. Yes, Chris, that's right, mate. Okay, so Sam Stone's asked about some hip mobility stuff. Oh, here we go. This is from KC. Which is the best exercise for strengthening the wrist for crow pose? I'd say just get like a warm-up that suits you and that feels good when you get into crow. So I like to, I think this might be on camera on the laptop. I'm going to tilt the camera. So I like to start off just warming up from plank, and then you can point your fingers away from each other from side to side, because you've got to think, like, obviously it'd be amazing if every time you go to crow you could just go up into a beautiful crow, but it doesn't always happen, does it? So you need to like approach it in the friendliest way and stretch everything out so that you're not pulling things when you're working on it. So now I'm pointing my fingers towards my knees and then just moving around, but just get a bit of a stretch to begin with. Stretch that out. That's still not really on camera yet, is it? I'll tilt a bit more. Sorry, mate. And then I like to, so palms and fingers on the mat, and then lift my palms and drop them down and just go over that. And again, you can do that, fingers pointing away, lift one, lift the other. And this, you'll feel this all down your forearms as well. It's kind of, if you guys have done your first jiu-jitsu comp yet, or done jiu-jitsu comps, when your wrists burn up, you'll feel that from doing this as well. And again, fingers pointing towards knees, just push up and down, just to get those muscles in your forearms nice and warm, nice and ready to do crow. And you think when you're pushing on the mat, you're using those muscles as well. So do that, lean forwards, maybe your shoulders go past your wrists a bit if you've got that much movement, and then push back. Things like that, just to warm you up. And they are going to strengthen, because you'll feel yourself getting tired doing them. And that's, if you do them every time you practice crow pose, and every time you practice crow pose, you're kind of pushing it, not to the point where you're falling over, but just a little bit more each time. You'll slowly strengthen, you'll slowly build up strength in the pose. And then eventually, I mean, you think if you lean forwards and push back a few times, you'll feel it in your forearms. But that's also the same as when you get into crow, you lean forwards and then you push yourself back. Okay, it's the same thing. So if you get too tired to push yourself up, just do that a bit, and then the next day or a couple of days after, you might find a bit more time in it. But yeah, so Sam Stone regarding guard. Let's do some guard stuff just quickly. So if you get on your back, I'll move the camera. If you get on your back and bring your knees up and then your feet up towards the ceiling, if you can grab your ankles here, just grab your ankles, or if you can grab the outsides of your feet, grab them. Try and keep your lower back flat on the mat here as well, just feels like a better stretch. Or if that pinches your hips, grab your heels, and then from here just start moving around, almost playing spider guard with yourself, just working that. And then if I didn't kick the wall away from me, you could let one foot go, straighten it away, so you stretch out the kind of hip flexor at the front, then bring it back up, and the same on the other side, and then just start working some movement. Okay, and you can open your leg out to one side like you're sweeping someone over, and then you can open your leg out to the other side. But just get on your back and move around. Okay, if you want to improve your guard, get in a similar position and start working some movement there. You could even do the same with your belt, where you bring your belt over your feet and then you start moving around with that. Okay, and just working how you would in guard. Okay, there are some stretches, really good hip stretches as well in our classes, but if you need a quick stretch before you get on the mats, mimic the movements you're going to do. We like to point out the relevance in a lot of our yoga classes, the relevance between the pose we're doing and the jiu-jitsu technique, just so that you guys can see. And it shows when you start doing jiu-jitsu, you're like, I'm in pigeon pose or whatever, things like that. It starts to shine through and you start to realise, and that's what helps your progression with yoga for BJJ, because you want to do them more and more. So yeah, get involved, jump on the website, download the app. We've got a 7-day free trial as well. The app will give you access to the website will give you access to the app as well. So yeah, if you're interested there, give me a shout. Just waving back at everyone on Instagram. But no worries, Sam, give me a shout and let me know how it goes as well. But that is it for today, guys. So I've got a class dropping tomorrow on the website, tomorrow afternoon. Get involved, give it a go. If you can't do it live, catch the replay. It's going to be on there from tomorrow afternoon onwards. And yeah, make sure you're following us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and all that. And I will see you guys in the next video.